Okay, so hello again. I would like to apologize for the several technical difficulties. I apologize for that. I'll just start from the start so that everyone can see a better flow of this Mind at Home. Again, apologies. Good morning, everyone. I am Mind Mover Nat, one of the science communicators of the Mind Museum, and I'm welcoming you finally to another installment of Mind at Home. For the previous months, the Philippines and the rest of the world has been going through a very difficult time because, as we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has been making a lot of people sick. And so preventive measures have been taken. That's why we are under the community quarantine, forcing us to stay at home. And so we can't really go outside because that is very different from what we usually do in our daily lives. It can get stressful and raise some anxieties for some of us. And so, is there anything that we can do to make the situation even just a little bit better? So, what the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says is that we need to take time to unwind and also to do things or activities that we would like to do and that are enjoyable to us, such as cooking, singing, listening to music, whatever it is that would help us overcome the stress and to ease the anxieties that we may have. And of course, the Mind Museum is here to help you with that by providing you an experience filled with fun and learning, because we believe that these two come hand in hand and they are very important to help us get through the situation that we are in right now. So of course, again, everybody needs to do their by staying at home, washing their hands as much as possible by using soap and water, running water for 20 seconds, so about 2 happy birthday songs. Or if you want to spice it up a little bit, you can maybe sing the chorus of your favorite song. Whatever it is, just please always wash your hands. And of course, refrain from touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, especially when your hands are not clean. So these things are very important to protect yourself, your family, your community, and of course, to help slow down the spread of the infection or the COVID-19 disease. And so, with that, we can have a little bit of fun while learning something new with Mind at Home. So, just like the previous Mind at Home sessions, we will be doing a science activity that anyone at home can do with materials that you maybe find inside your house. So, for today, again, we will be exploring the power of our eyes or our vision. And so, do you have any ideas on what science activities we could do to achieve that? Okay, so it does have something to do with optical illusions, because today we will be making an optical toy named the Thaumatrope. So it's a very fancy and long word, but don't worry, the process of making your own Thaumatrope is way easier than the sound of its name. So before we do our actual thaumatropes, let us see the materials that we will be needing. Okay, so first we need a clean sheet of paper. Any paper will do as long as it's clean enough for you to draw on. I will be using sticker paper because it'll be easier, as you will figure out later on. And then you will need drawing materials. I have here colored pens. You can use colored pencils, markers, crayons, oil pastels, whatever it is that you have at home. And then you'll need scissors, also a string, or if you don't have string, toothpicks, wires, and barbecue sticks can work too. And if you're using regular paper, you will need glue or tape or any adhesive. Now that we have our materials ready, we can begin making our thaumatropes. So step 1 is to get your clean sheet of paper and draw two identical shapes, just like this. So any shape will do, but for me, I chose to draw circles that are identical beside each other and touching at some point. So whatever shape you use, it is better to make sure that they are touching at one point so that it's easier to assemble. So for step 2, you just need to cut out the shape that you drew. And if you use circles, you'll have something that looks just like this one. Okay, that's step 2. For step 3, think of a picture that you would like to put inside your shape. So it can be an animal, a human being, a cartoon character that you like, anything at all. So it doesn't even have to make sense. Just like my drawing, my picture over here. So I have here a fish on a cloud. So that doesn't really make sense because it's very unlikely for you to find a fish snuggled up on a cloud. So with that, take your cutout over here, and on the upper portion, or the upper shape, draw one element or some elements of your drawing or your picture, and on the lower circle, draw the rest of the elements to complete the picture that you wanted. So just like this. Okay, so for step 4, okay, we just need to cut a string that is long enough to go through our circle like this, and still long enough for you to hold with your fingers. Okay, so for step 5, this is the final step. You just need to assemble your string and your shape. So for me, I'm just using sticker paper, so it's easier because I just have to peel this and then put the string on the center of one of the circles, and it will already stick. So if you're using regular paper, you can put tape over here, or you can just put glue all over one of the shapes and then put the string, and then take the other circle and stick them together like so, and you'll have something that looks just like this. Okay, so now we have a complete thaumatrope of our own. So, what now? Okay, so how do we use this thing? How do we play with it if it's a toy? So, as you can see, my drawing here, the fish on a cloud drawing over here, has a complete set of a fish on a cloud with random shapes around it. But in my thaumatrope, the elements are separated into 2 sides. Do you have any idea on how we can put these elements together so that it would look just like this one? Okay, so we just need to stretch the string this way and then spin it as fast as we can. So maybe let's do a little countdown. So in 3, 2, 1, and spin! Okay, so as you can see, if you look close enough, the fish is now snuggled up on the cloud, just like in the picture on the upper left, right? Okay. So what was that about? Was that the magic of video editing? Well, not really, because there's an explanation behind that. So this optical toy, or the thaumatrope, takes advantage of what we call the persistence of vision. So even if the parts of the picture, the fish and the cloud, are separated into 2 sides, you can still see them as one when you spin it really fast because, oops, okay, because our eyes can actually remember what we just saw even if it already disappeared. So what happens if I spin this really slowly? So focus on the cloud. As we see this cloud, our eyes actually tell our brains that, hey, you are seeing a cloud. You are looking into it and you are seeing a cloud. And then if I turn it slowly, my brain, or our eyes have enough time to tell our brain that, hey, the cloud is already gone, and so you can no longer see the cloud. But then again, if you spin it really fast, the cloud and the fish, or both sides of the picture, are continually disappearing and reappearing even before your eyes can tell your brain that, hey, the fish or the cloud has already disappeared and it's reappearing again. And so we see the elements on one view. So the secret is to spin it as fast as we can to see the picture better. So if you don't want to draw, you can also use words and letters. So it's actually quite cool if you use letters and words because it would kind of be like a secret message just like the example over here. So you see here a bunch of random letters that don't make sense just yet, but if you assemble it into proper thaumatrope, just like this one, maybe we can figure out the secret message. So let's spin. Okay, can you see that? It actually says hello. So hello everyone. Okay, so as I've mentioned earlier, you can also, if you don't want to use circles for your shape, you can also use other shapes. I have here a square thaumatrope, again with random letters. Okay, so let's decode the secret message. So if I just stretch and then spin. Okay, so it actually says, wash your hands. So it's almost lunchtime, so before you eat, make sure that you wash your hands with soap and running water. Okay, so if you don't want to draw or you don't want to use letters, you can also use colors. So I have here a thaumatrope with a red side and a blue side. Okay, so what do you think is the color that we will be seeing if I spin this thaumatrope? Is it red or is it blue? So let's figure out together. So if I just stretch again and spin. Okay, so it might not be super clear or super visible, but if you focus and look closely enough, you can find a hint of purple. So if you can't see it, maybe you can try it by yourself and figure out if it's really true. Okay, so if you are doing this at home, I have a few more tips for you. If you are using a string that is as thin as mine, like here, or maybe thinner, it's better to use smaller shapes so that the thaumatrope can still spin easily. And if you have thicker strings, like a yarn maybe, then you can use circles that are this big. Okay. And then, if you want to make a really big thaumatrope or you don't have strings at home, you can use barbecue sticks. But unfortunately, I don't have barbecue sticks here, so I can't show you that. So, okay, now that we know how to make our own thaumatrope, how it works, let us now answer some questions that you may have. Okay, so I will be entertaining questions from this point. Okay, I'll give a few more seconds for anyone to raise some questions or maybe some tips on how to do the thaumatrope. So again, it's spelled this way. It's a very long word, but as you saw, it was easy to do and to use. Okay. So I'm not seeing any questions right now on my device, but if you do have questions, I will be answering them as fast as I can. And so thank you everyone for watching today's Mind at Home. Oh, we have a question over here. Aside from strings and sticks, what else can we use? Anything at all, anything really that is thin and can be twisted or spinned around. So if you don't have sticks or strings, maybe you can use wires. Yeah, and I'm not sure how well it would work, but maybe you can use your pen, but it's quite thick, so you might need a bigger cutout or a thicker paper to use so that it can still spin easily and so that the pen would not bulge. Okay, so do we have any more questions? Okay, I'll just wait for the questions until I finish this Mind at Home episode. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you had fun and learned something new. And again, another reminder reminder to stay at home and wash your hands often using soap and running water for at least 20 seconds. So if you're wondering why we keep on repeating that and we keep on seeing that everywhere recently, you might want to check out last Tuesday's Mind at Home by Mind Mover Mikey, where she showed us the power of washing our hands through the soap and pepper experiment. Okay, so if you would like to see more that Mind at Home and previous Mind at Home content, and also future Mind at Home content, and any content that the Mind Museum can provide, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's The Mind Museum. And if you're going to do any of our experiments, you should maybe don't hesitate to tag us and use the hashtags #The Mind Museum and #Mind at Home. And so again, always be safe and well, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 11 a.m. for another installment of Mind at Home. This has been Mind Mover Nat, and I want to say bye!